Welcome back to Property Playbook. We're your hosts, Elena Saradidis
and Erica Reddy-Choquette.
And today we're going to talk all things market update. But we should first say, welcome to our new studio setting. We have taken this on the road.
I think that's really great. You didn't want to talk about it. I was like, we have to talk about how this is new. And I feel like I'm the kind of person that would be like, why is there a different background and what's happening? And you're like, no one cares. So for those that care, welcome to our new on the road situation.
We might change it up, but we're starting out this way, and maybe next shooting will be in a brand new, fully renovated home.
That can be that too. I mean, we're in the works on a renovation, but that's not today's podcast. That's the next podcast.
Okay, market update. What do you think is going on? What are people doing? Are people buying? Are people selling? Are people renting? Are they still investing in real estate? What are you seeing?
So it's funny. I'm actually talking about this next week with Your Morning on CTV, and I'm truly trying to put my thoughts together because it's almost a different market every single day. I mean, I would definitely say the condo market is so saturated right now. There is so much inventory. It's a really tricky market to be on the listing side. And frankly, I'd say a tricky market to be on the buyer side. And I say that because listing wise, it's tough to be a seller when it's a saturated market and there's so much product. But on the flip, it's tough to be a buyer because you're like, I don't know, there's so many options. Like, which option should I pick? Should I wait? So, I mean, let's start there because the condo market's probably enough to make an entire episode. We will touch on everything, but that's the market right now.
Well, I would say this. I would say statistically, and it doesn't matter what market we're in, sellers always want the most amount of money for their property. Buyers always want to pay the least amount of money, and the media doesn't help.
No.
So sellers are like, how could my property be worth less now than it was a few months ago or a few years ago? And buyers are saying, well, sky's falling. The property's worth so much less than what you're planning to offer it up for. You need to take less money. Mm-hmm. So it is a very much of a balancing act right now. I don't think the condo market is necessarily a fun market to be transacting in right now.
I mean, I'm literally emailing some of my sellers going, we've had 0 showings. We have had 0 calls. We have 0 people. Next week, same update. Next week, same update. I mean, that's a tough update to give a seller 2-3 times over when we are so properly priced.
And it's not just that. It's like price is one factor, but when you're doing everything, which I know you do this, you know I do this, when you do everything to make sure your property is the best shot, and that's the result, it's the market. It's a very, very tough market to be in. I have an offer night right now, actually. In the next hour or so, we should be getting offers on a condo.
It's a ballsy move. I like it. I'm just saying it.
Well, you know, I'm always one to test boundaries. So look, this is the reality. There's way too much inventory on the market right now. There's no one looking at condos or condos in that pocket. What do you do to get some action? You shake things up. And it could work or it couldn't work. And that's the conversation we had with our clients. We're also trying, remember we had Nathan Dart on the show a little while ago. We're trying final offer for this. Yeah. So we'll have a whole new topic in 3 weeks from now on did final offer work? Is it the future of real estate and what's going on?
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. It's a trial run. We needed to shake up this listing. How do you shake it up? Price.
Yeah.
When it looks fabulous, the photos are professionally done. We've mass marketed it. We spent tons of money on ads on it. The last thing is price.
Yep.
So yes, offer nights are hit or miss. People don't want to compete right now. There's a whole bundle of things that are happening, but we need people in the door because if people don't come in to see your property, you're not going to get an offer.
Totally. And I think your point on trial, and I've said this to everybody. I mean, I used to go into a listing strategy just effectively saying, okay, we're going to go to market, we're going to do the offer date, we're going to sell, that's it. Now it's like, okay, we're going to go in, we're going to try the offer date. If the offer date doesn't work, we're going to try pivoting, repricing, and then we're going to do this strategy. And then if that doesn't work, then here's I've never had to go into listings that would have, 3-6 months ago just flown off the shelf and had 2 to 3 strategies to present to a seller, which is really it's a tough pitch. I mean, the seller's kind of look at you like, I'm sorry, you're not going to sell it in the first round. Then you might not even sell it in the second round. And then then what? Like, we've moved out of our house, we've staged it, we've done it all. It's a lot, but it is this kind of shifty, transitioning market. And I think what also is tricky is what the summer holds is unknown. I mean, I think we're looking at a true summer market in the sense that we're back to travel, we're back to, summer holidays, we're back to people really taking their Fridays to get out of Dodge, get to cottages, really enjoy. COVID is officially in the rearview mirror. This is not we're not sure, this, that, the other. this is summer. And so if we go into a traditional summer market, plus have this transition that we're presently in, it could be a significantly quieter market where we don't have nearly the number of buyers. We have so much inventory in some instances. How does that unfold?
So you kind of touched on something. It was pricing strategy and like first, this is what we're going to try. Second, this is what we're going to try. Third, this is what we're going to try. And the funny thing is every single thing that you're going to try is what we used to lay out to our clients as these are the 3 options that we could do with your property. One of these 3 will do and eventually will sell. Now we're like, we're going to try everything.
Totally.
Because we're going to have to try everything.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't work one way, we're going to have to try another way. And we don't know what will work and what won't work because it's changing so fast.
Yes.
Like next door could look exactly the same. Pulled off an offer night 2 days ago. You do the exact same thing and it could not work.
Totally. And I mean, you look in some pockets, and I mean, I'm in the midst of pricing a couple houses right now for multiples. And I've looked and I'm like, wow, there's been some great sales. This should be supportive. But then I've also looked and been like, holy, there's been some suspended, some terminated, some expired that I never thought would have suspended, terminated, or expired. So it's also really hard to even get the big picture with the data because the data's spotty. And so to your point, I really think it is kind of like this a la carte. We're going to try it all. And one part of the a la carte is going to work. It's just which part of the a la carte is going to work and how many times do we have to kind of work our way through the a la carte before we get something that sticks.
And I think what the most important thing right now is if you're looking to buy, sell, invest, do whatever, communication between agent to agent. So whoever you're working with needs to be able to be a friendly agent and make a friend on the other side and work together to get the deal done. Because this isn't one agent versus another agent. It's really how do we both work together to get this to the finish line? Because it could take a lot more effort. Both sides need to compromise in most case scenarios. What are we going to do to get us to the finish line?
Yeah.
So the condo market right now is not great. But if you are a buyer, this is what I'm going to say. If you're a buyer, buy now. And I know you're going to say, this is a real estate agent telling me to buy real estate. Wow, what a shock. But if you're going to try and time the market, you'll never time it perfectly.
No.
They'll always miss the boat. And the reality is this. They just did an interest decrease announcement. Right now, things are kind of like settling. Predictions are saying there's going to be another 2 before the end of the year. People are going to start dipping their toes in again. So you want to buy when there's not a lineup out the door, or don't listen to me completely. Wait for interest rates to come down. That's absolutely no issue. And when there's 14 people or 15 people or 18 people, 20 people competing for a property, we'll put in an offer then because it's more exciting. I hope you can sense my sarcasm and don't think I'm actually serious, but that was the market we were in, and the real estate market ebbs and flows. And right now we're in a down market. It will eventually go back up. It's the circle of real estate life. It will happen. But the question is when it happens and you're competing and you're paying more for the property, but you have lower interest rate and you basically paid the exact same amount, was it better then or better now? And you know my answer.
I mean, it's definitely better now, but I think the hardest part is the mindset. The mindset of this market is really tricky. And I think, yes, you can be like, wow, I'm potentially buying at the bottom of the market or close to the bottom of the market. We can't obviously predict that or time that, but typically by the time the bottom's been the bottom, it's in the rearview mirror and everybody goes, I should have.
No one's going to believe us until BlogTO posts the bottom of the market is here. And when BlogTO says the bottom of the market is here, it's too late because they're pulling data from 2 months previous.
Yeah.
So when I'm saying start thinking about it, it's coming from a place of if we're low right now, how much lower could it possibly get? It's like when the interest rates were low and people were going variable, how much lower can we get? Like you got to start thinking about that. And everyone's in the herd mentality. Like I get it. When there's a lineup out the door, everyone's purchasing real estate.
You want what everybody can't have. Period. It's that simple. And as soon as everybody can have everything and they can take as much time as they want to make their mind up, if they want to, they look at it this week, they look at it next week, they look at it the following week. And then they're like, well, what's wrong with it? It's still on the market. It's mindset. It's shifting that mindset. And I think that's what's really important, but it's so much easier said than done.
100%. It's herd mentality. Let's go to another segment of the market right now, houses. Houses, depending on the price point, are flying off the shelf.
100%. And depending on the neighborhood, are flying off the shelf.
You're correct. So in my experience, yes, depending on the neighborhood, but typically anything over 3 million is still, in a normal market. It hasn't seen as much of a shift. It takes a reasonable amount of time to get them sold. Anything under that's detached, it tends to be moving pretty easily.
Yeah, I would say kind of that Well, I mean, $1 million is almost unheard of for a house, but let's say the 1.2 to 1.5 to 1.75, that is flying. And then even that kind of 1.7 to 2.5. I mean, I competed 2 weeks ago with 5 other people, all strong offers for buyers of mine for a $2 million house. It was really competitive. On the flip side, I had offer dates on a semi of mine a couple weeks back, and what I thought was really interesting was we had a significant number of offers, but you really, for one of the first times, I saw a massive cluster of everybody coming in right around the same price. And then once everybody kind of had the comfort that everybody was right at the same price, then you started to see it get competitive.
Did you open it up?
We didn't open it up, no.
Okay, can I ask why?
A combination of the client wasn't sure about wanting it to be open, and I had the ability to disclose enough information that even though it was closed, there was still an openness to the communication. So when I was able to say to everybody, listen, you're all grouped literally identically, then they were all comfortable to be like, okay, now we're ready to kind of jump in. We just wanted to see where we all grouped. And now that we've all grouped there, great, we're all thinking the same thing. And I think that's the other piece in this market is because people don't really know where to go. And some of the comparables are, 60, 90, 180 days, which really aren't relevant to today's market. People struggle to know which comp they should use with buyers when they're trying to figure out the pricing and multiples. So in this case, I literally saw everybody go, okay, this is going to be the comp that we're going to try and work with. And everybody came in at the exact same comp. And then I was like, hey, you all thought alike, but now there's the other 4 or 5. Pick the one that you think is relevant and off we go. And that's then where it picked up from there.
Okay. And did you send them the 4 or 5 that you thought were relevant?
Comparables? Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, from a listing side, clients always say to me, like sellers always say, okay, well, if we're picking this low list price and we're doing this strategy, how are you going to communicate that we don't actually want to take the list price that we've picked? And I'm like, by being an open book. I mean, I think there's absolutely no harm. I think there's huge value and benefit to helping buyers agents out when you're the listing agent and saying, hey, these are the comparables we're working with. Here are the things that we feel we're superior or inferior with. And here's the range that we're looking for. If an agent says to me, hey, what do you think it's going to sell for? I'll give them a range. I mean, listen, it could go more, it could go less, but I want everybody in the same mindset. Nothing drives me crazier than calling a listing agent to say, hey, I've looked at these 4 or 5 comparables. Here's what I think it's going to sell for. Are we on the mark? I can't comment. Yes, you can comment. No, I can't comment. Okay, you can. You're choosing not to.
Okay, but you have to understand the flip side of the coin. They're choosing not to comment because they want you to come in regardless.
100%. So, but are we in the right ballpark? I've done my research. I get it. If someone just picks up the phone and is like, oh, hey, on a nice listing, can you tell me what it's going to go for? So, I haven't even looked at the comps. I have absolutely no idea. Then I'm like, hey, that's just annoying.
So what I usually do is this. I'll usually say, okay, I saw that you have this house up on the market. I pulled the comps. These are the comps that I'm looking at. Is there a comp that you're looking at or your seller's looking at that I'm not looking at currently? Mm-hmm. And then they'll usually say, I would also add 123 Banana Street. And I'll be like, fantastic, thank you so much. Then I'll pull the comp and be like, okay, they're thinking that this is worth this, but it's in either a different pocket or it's up the street or it has X amount of renos, but at least some guidance to help my clients understand where they need to be.
Yeah.
And the listing agent, there's this, it's a very, very important role because your job is literally conveying why your property is worth what it's worth.
You're the gatekeeper of the listing and of the property and of the strategy. So,
and if the listing agent can't justify why your price is your price, who else is going to justify it for them?
And also helping people out to understand, to your point, which comps were relevant, I think is really relevant. And to show you've also done your homework is relevant. So net, I don't see why, giving some color is not in everybody's best interest, personally.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing I think we've concluded with, the condo market is not doing well right now. And if you're looking to buy or invest, this is the time that you should be looking at the condo market because there's opportunity in that market.
Yeah, and if you're looking to sell in the condo market, strap on. It's a long ride. It's doable. Don't think this is like you're never selling. It's doable, but it's a different market. So understand it.
Yeah, and understand too, for us to take your property to market, we have skin in the game. It's not like it's not like we're just putting it up there and hoping and praying it's going to sell. That's not it. And even in hot markets, we weren't just putting it on MLS, hoping and praying it will sell. Like every time I take on a listing, and I'm sure you're the exact same way, I'm putting $5,000 to $6,000 in minimum.
Easily.
And then it goes up depending on what the size is, what work is needed, whatever else needs to get done. So we're in the hole with you. It's not like we're just like, drop the price. We're like, we're on the same page. We want you to sell. We want you to sell for the most amount of money. We're going to do what we can to help you get there. But we're on the same team. It's not us against you, which I think is I think most people don't understand. It's like, you don't want them to miss out on opportunity on buying a house. You don't want them to sell for below market value. It does nothing for us.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you like content like this,
we had our condo. You were wrapping our condo.
I was wrapping it up.
Tangent.
I was wrapping it up. Oh my God, Erica's gonna pull me back into this.
Stop with your exit.
Okay,
here.
yes. So fine. The condo market's not doing well. Get back into the condo market if you are interested in investing in real estate. Now is the time for that. If you're looking at houses and detached and semis, make sure you're working with the right agents, because let me tell you, it is moving, and it's moving quite quickly if it's below a certain price point. Once again, it's Elena Saradidis
and Erica Reddy-Choquette.
And this was Property Playbook.